Annie works as a dancer at a high-end club, known for her ability to connect with clients through her friendly and charming personality. Her success causes some tension among her coworkers, especially Diamond, another dancer, after one of Diamond's regular clients chooses Annie instead. Despite the competition, Annie stays close friends with another dancer, Lulu, offering support to each other in the challenging environment. One night, the club's manager, Jimmy, asks Annie to meet a client who speaks Russian. She meets Ivan, a visitor from Russia on vacation, and they quickly hit it off. During their private time in the VIP room, Annie's charm impresses Ivan, creating a memorable evening for them both. The next day, Annie leaves her work persona behind and returns to the simple home she shares with her sister. Later, Ivan invites her to visit his fancy home. During her visit, he reveals that he is the son of a wealthy Russian business. Annie excitedly tells Lulu about it, but Diamond overhears and becomes clearly jealous. As Annie and Ivan grow closer, he invites her to a big New Year's Eve party at his luxurious estate. Annie goes with Lulu and enjoys an extravagant evening. At the end of the night, Ivan proposes a deal. He offers her $15,000 to be his exclusive girlfriend for a week, so she can take a break from her job at the club. Annie asks Jimmy for time off, but he refuses. Determined, she decides to quit her job and take Ivan's offer, stepping into a more luxurious lifestyle. Living in Ivan's world, Annie experiences a life of wealth, meeting his friends, relaxing at the beach, and traveling to places like Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, Annie and Ivan dive into the city's fun nightlife. They hang out in Ivan's private suite, visit the casino, and enjoy the city's attraction. As the night goes on, they grow closer. Annie shows Ivan new ways to have fun, and he finds himself more and more drawn to her. But the thought of their week ending soon creates some tension. Ivan, knowing he has to return to Russia to work for his father, jokes about staying in the US by marrying an American. The joke turns serious when Ivan mentions that Las Vegas is famous for quick weddings. On a whim, Ivan proposes to Annie. At first, she laughs, but his sincerity and their bond convince her to say yes. They rush to a local chapel and get married. After the sudden wedding, Annie decides to quit her dancing. Her co-workers are happy for her, though Diamond makes a skeptical comment about how long the marriage will last. Ivan gives Annie a wedding ring and a new coat as tokens of their love. They spend their days happily. Meanwhile, Ivan's parents find out about the wedding and ask his godfather, Toro, a priest with US connections, to handle it. Toro sends his associate Garnick to bring Ivan back to Russia. At Ivan's place, Annie notices him avoiding calls and wonders if he's told his parents about their marriage. Ivan says he has. Garnick digs up info about the marriage and plans to take Ivan back, warning his partner, Igor, not to hurt him. When Garnick and Igor show up at Ivan's home, Ivan refuses to let them in. Garnick breaks the locks, and Ivan fights back. Annie wants to call the police, but Ivan insists on dealing with it himself. During the argument, Garnick calls Annie a hired woman, leaving her upset and confused. Annie asks Ivan what's going on, but he's focused on the situation. To calm things down, Ivan lets Garnick and Igor and shows proof of their marriage in it. Garnick takes photos of the marriage license and sends them to Toro. Toro, who is busy with a baptism, sees the photos and leaves, clearly upset. Back at Ivan's house, Garnick stays, waiting for Toro's next orders. Meanwhile, Toro calls Ivan's mom to tell her what's happening, making the problem even worse. He leaves the church and calls Garnick, telling him to put the phone on speaker so Annie can hear. Toro scolds Ivan for marrying Annie, which hurts her deeply. The argument gets worse, as Toro blames Ivan for disrespecting the family and upsetting his mom. The situation becomes more serious when Toro reveals that Ivan's parents are coming to America to deal with the issue. Toro says he plans to take Ivan and Annie to City Hall to cancel the marriage right away. Ivan stays quiet, leading Annie to defend their relationship. Feeling things might go wrong, Ivan tells Annie to pack her things and come with him. Confused, but trusting him, Annie runs upstairs. Suddenly, Ivan runs away from the house without her. Garnick chases him, while Igor stops Annie from following. Left behind, Annie argues with Igor, who grabs her after a struggle. Annie fights back hard, and Igor ties her up. When Garnick comes back, he's shocked by the mess. Igor explains that Annie wouldn't stop fighting, so they had to restrain her. Garnick orders her to be untied, but when Annie tries to escape again, Igor grabs her. Annie bites Igor during the struggle, and when Garnick tries to help, she kicks him in the face. As Garnick recovers, Annie says Ivan will come back for her. Igor, doubtful, points out that Ivan left and hasn't returned. Annie insists Ivan is getting help. Toro arrives at the house, angry at the chaos. He's surprised at how hard Annie fought against Garnick and Igor. but Igor says letting her go would only make her run away again. Ani suggests calling Ivan, but Toro tells Igor to use her phone instead. While Igor makes the call, Ani angrily complains about how they've treated her and Ivan. Toro apologizes for being rough. When Igor calls Ivan's phone, it goes to voicemail. Toro comments on Ivan being gone and not answering, saying it shows he doesn't care. Ani disagrees, standing up for Ivan and their marriage. Toro criticizes Ani, saying she doesn't really understand Ivan. He talks about dealing with Ivan's impulsive actions over the years, and calls the marriage another example of being irresponsible. Toro says the situation not only damages Ivan's family's name, but also puts them in trouble. Ani defends Ivan, saying she trusts him, and even hints that she might already be pregnant with his child. Toro reacts by saying this would be unacceptable. He tells Ani that the house she thinks is her home actually belongs to Ivan's parents, and the room she stays in is just a guest room. He adds that Ivan's personal room is full of spaceship models, which he thinks shows Ivan is still immature. Toro accuses Ani of tricking Ivan into marriage and questions her intention. Ani shows the ring Ivan gave her as proof of his love. Toro takes the ring, saying it belongs to Ivan's family. When Ani gets upset and raises her voice, Toro quiets her with a scarf. After things calm down, Toro tells Ani that Ivan only married her for a green card and offers her $10,000 to end the marriage. Ani says she wants to talk to Ivan before deciding. Toro agrees but warns her that she won't see Ivan again after the annulment. In the end, Ani agrees to his terms. Later, Ani gets ready and joins the search for Ivan. During the car ride, Ani confronts Igor, who had held her back earlier. Igor says he's sorry, but Ani stays upset. Their search takes them to a candy shop, where Ivan's friends Crystal and Tom work. Ani asks them about Ivan, but they say they haven't seen him. Toro tells them to call Ivan, and when they refuse, he orders Igor to damage the shop. Under pressure, Crystal makes the call, but it goes to voicemail. Ani keeps asking if Ivan could be with another friend. Crystal suggests checking with Alex, who works at a nearby restaurant. The group heads there. At the restaurant, Ani asks Alex if he has seen Ivan, or knows where he is. Alex hasn't seen Ivan either, so the group uses Alex's phone to call him. The call goes straight to voicemail, making them even more frustrated. Changing plans, Toro shows Ivan's picture to people in the restaurant, asking if anyone has seen him, but no one has. As they leave the restaurant, Igor notices Ani shivering from the cold and offers her the scarf that was used to gag her earlier. Ani hesitates at first, unsure of his intentions, but eventually accepts it because of the cold. Outside, Toro sees his car being towed. He tries to pay the tow truck driver to release it, but the driver refuses. Determined, Toro unhooks his car from the tow truck and drives away with the group. The search continues late into the night as they check places Ivan might have gone. Tensions rise within the group as they get more tired. Garnick, still feeling the effects of Annie's earlier kick, gets sick and throws up in the car. This forces Toro to clean up, making everyone's mood worse. A clue comes up when the group hears Ivan was seen at a club but has already left. They start checking nearby clubs, not knowing that Ivan has gone to Annie's old workplace. There, Diamond gets ready to meet Ivan, while Lulu watches, worried. During a quick dinner break, Toro grows more nervous about not finding Ivan. Annie then gets a message from Lulu telling her where Ivan is. The group rushes to the club and arrives just as Diamond takes Ivan to a VIP room. Inside, Annie confronts Diamond and Ivan. Toro scolds Ivan, while Annie asks him for answers, upset about his disappearance and sharing the struggle she's like losing her wedding ring. She begs Ivan to step up and stop Toro from getting their marriage annulled, but Ivan is too drunk to respond. Toro drags him out of the club while Annie keeps trying to talk to him. Meanwhile, Diamond mocks Annie, making things worse. Annie hits Diamond, and they get into a fight, which ends when Igor pulls Annie away. In the car, Annie argues with Toro, saying Ivan deserves a chance to speak when he's sober. Toro refuses and insists on moving ahead with the annulment. They head to City Hall. The group spends the night in the car outside City Hall, waiting for the judge to arrive. At dawn, Annie tries to talk to Ivan, hoping he is sober enough to respond, but he is still too drunk to make sense. When Ivan's father's lawyer, Michael, shows up, Annie argues that Ivan's drunken state makes him unable to deal with any legal issue. Despite Annie's objections, they go to the courtroom. Annie tells the judge that Ivan being drunk makes the annulment process invalid, and explains why their Las Vegas marriage is legal. Michael agrees that canceling a marriage from another state is complicated. The judge agrees and closes the case, making Toro visibly upset. In response, Toro demands that Ivan and Annie meet Ivan's parents to explain what's happening. Annie asks Ivan to leave with her, but Ivan decides to meet his parents, so Annie goes along, hoping to sort things out. At the airport, Ivan's parents, Galina and Nikolai, arrive. Ani greets them in Russian and says she's ready to be part of their family. But Galina dismisses, saying Annie is not part of their family, and Ivan doesn't love her. When Galina learns the annulment has to happen in Nevada, she arranges for everyone to fly there on their private plane. Ani begs Ivan not to go, but he agrees to proceed. Feeling upset, Ani objects, but Ivan ignores her and says he plans to go through with the divorce. Ivan thanks Annie for being there, calling her a temporary companion. Hurt, Annie stops arguing as Ivan boards the plane. When Galina tells Annie to get on the plane too, Annie first refuses, saying she will hire a lawyer to protect her rights, including possibly claiming Ivan's wealth. Galina warns Annie not to take legal action, threatening her and her family. Reluctantly, Annie gets on the plane. During the flight, Ivan's parents scold him for his actions and demand he take responsibility in the family business. Annie watches their family interaction and becomes increasingly frustrated. When Ivan dismisses Annie, she firmly speaks up, calling out his behavior and standing her ground. During the flight, Igor quietly offers Annie a drink, which she quickly finishes. She hides her frustration behind a calm appearance. When they arrive at the Las Vegas office, Galina asks the couple to sign annulment paper. Annie pauses for a moment, looking at Ivan, hoping for a reaction, but Ivan avoids her eyes, so Annie goes ahead and signs the papers, ending their marriage. Igor suggests Ivan should say sorry to Annie, but Galina disagrees, saying Ivan doesn't need to apologize. Annie insists that Ivan should apologize for how he treated her, but Galina insults her, calling her unimportant. Annie fires back, saying Ivan only married her to go against his parents, leaving Galina speechless. Annie ends the argument by throwing her scarf at Galina and placing her coat over Ivan before walking away. Toro tells Igor to take Annie to the airport, but allows her to stay at the family's house for the night, as long as she leaves the next morning. On the flight back to Los Angeles, Annie has trouble sleeping, and Igor places his jacket at the house. Annie takes a shower, feeling overwhelmed by everything that happened. Later, she shares a cigarette with Igor. During their chat, Igor calls her by her real name, Anora, but she brushes it off with a sarcastic comment. She also makes fun of his name during their exchange. Igor tries to comfort Annie, saying leaving Ivan's family might be a good thing for her. But Annie doesn't trust him, still angry about his earlier behavior and questioning his motives. Igor denies her accusations, but Annie isn't convinced and goes to her room. In the morning, Annie gets ready to leave, taking a moment to look around before heading out. Igor drives her to the bank to confirm her settlement. Money has been paid and gives back her wedding ring, which he got from Toro. Annie is surprised by Igor's kindness and offers to pay him back. During their conversation, Igor stops her and kisses her. Annie gets emotional, hits him, and then breaks down crying. Igor doesn't fight back and instead holds her to comfort her.